They should make eggs.
Okay.
They should make
Speak on
them.
that.
They should make them big. You ever see a big
Uh,
egg?
Yeah, like an ostrich egg.
No,
They make big
no,
eggs.
not. But that's
No.
not. No, ostrich. Those are like dinosaur eggs. I'm talking about like
Mhm.
a
Right.
like a big egg.
Like a regular chicken egg.
Yeah,
but
like
big.
from a chicken, but it's like big.
But like, how are they? The chickens are so small.
You know
though.
they-
We'd have to definitely increase the size of the chicken.
I don't think so.
You
Because
don't think so.
I don't think so. I could be wrong, I suppose, but I don't think that's the case. Because chickens, think about it. Charles Darwin, I believe he said this. He said, animals evolve and change. So why can't they change to make big eggs?
I think they do that like over time though. They don't do it like.
Sure, but like,
I guess they could.
we could start.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We could get there.
Okay. Yeah.
It sounds like
How
you're
are
on
we going to
board.
do that? I am. It's just that I'm questioning the plausibility of this idea. You know.
What do you mean
Like-
plausibility? Charles Darwin proved that this shit could happen. So let's
No, it's
just
not
do
that
it.
I don't think it can happen. It's just not something that you just do. You know, like it takes time.
Well,
Like
yeah,
you and
that's
I
why we
would
gotta
have to
start
specifically. You and I would specifically have to find a partner that exhibits specific traits
now.
so that we can have kids with that person specifically.
No, I don't think
and that
so.
like gets
I
a little
think
bit
it's-
into like a weird ethical thing.
No, because Charles Darwin observed, he was like, there are birds that like they get their feathers become like tougher because they have predators and stuff like that. So what we have to do is make it so that chickens feel the need to produce bigger eggs. So we need chickens to feel threatened so that they
Mhm.
want to produce bigger offspring.
Okay,
So what I'm saying,
do
full time,
we introduce a predator, or like you and I are going to start hunting chickens?
full time, we're gonna own a coop. It's a big coop because we have to get them acclimated to a big environment.
Coup d'état, maybe.
Yeah, and we
Right.
we just go in there every morning with like a baseball bat, and we just like run around, wildly.
we just hit them.
we
right?
we just hit the
We
fuck
just-
out of those chickens, dude.
We get a big old swing like
yeah,
that.
we're gonna be batting
Oh,
1,000.
Okay, 1,000.
And then the
Wow, okay.
Well,
I didn't know that it went that high.
Because if we don't miss, the chickens will feel more threatened. Because they're gonna be like, we're gonna walk in, and you know what the chicken's gonna think? That's the guy that doesn't miss.
Right.
So we need to get in there, baseball bat. Sometimes the bat has nails on it.
Sometimes, depending on like the day, it's like a Thursday thing.
It's the Lord's Day, yeah. It's a
Well, Lord's
Sunday
Day is
thing.
Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. And Chick-fil-A's closed, so like that's when they have the time to get most of their supply, and obviously we can turn this into like a lucrative business model.
No, I don't care about
Um,
business at all.
So you don't have to, but I'm gonna be in there
Okay.
making deals.
I'm here to make the chicken race better
Okay.
and stronger.
Only thing that I potentially have concerns about. So if we want the chicken feathers to be tougher, there has to be something in their gene pool.
Well, no,
that,
we want
like-
the eggs to be bigger. I don't give a shit about the feather toughness.
Oh, I thought that's why we were beating them up.
No, we're beating them up so they feel the need to produce bigger offspring so the offspring can protect the smaller chickens.
I think we just need to find chickens that lay the largest eggs already, and then we just have to keep breeding those chickens forever.
No, that's stupid.
Okay.
Because what about the baseball bat? What are
I
we
just
going to
don't
do with that?
I don't think that the psychological fear factor is going to cause them to make bigger eggs. I think it'll just make them scared and probably die when we kill them with a bat.
Okay, answer me this, Shakespeare. Are we not a product of our environment?
We are to a degree, but I think that's more of like a psychological thing. It's not like if my
Is
my mom,
psychological,
like-
does that not, you don't get fucking depression in your genes? We can't give an entire generation of chickens anxiety?
you do, and we could, yes, but I don't think making them anxious is going to make them bigger. per se.
But
But maybe that's just me.
they're
I
gonna
don't
be
know
like,
anything.
we have a very direct need to, like we have to defend ourselves because we're being hunted by these two white guys.
All right, how about this? How about this? I'm
With
gonna propose a
baseball
scenario
bats.
to you.
Okay, yeah.
I have an aunt and an uncle. Right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my aunt and uncle, they're both. My uncle's probably like 5. We'll say 5'6", and my
Okay.
aunt is 5'4". They have a son. Guess how tall their son is?
Like 7'2". He's probably like LeBron.
He's 5'3".
Okay.
He's not taller than either of his parents.
Well, that's why you need a lot of chickens.
Maybe they
this
weren't
is why
scared
the coop is
enough.
going to be really big because we
Maybe
need
they
a
lived
lot
like
of chickens to do this.
Maybe they lived a very nice life, and so they didn't feel like they had to adapt and have a giant son.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, put yourself in the shoes, right? So like,
Right.
imagine you live it's a really big coop, and
Okay.
every Sunday on the Lord's Day, a giant white man with a baseball bat that sometimes has nails in it comes in, and he starts hitting
Okay.
the fuck out of your family with that damn bat.
That sounds awful.
Like Jackie Robinson after he.
Okay, well now it's not as bad. He was cool.
Was he an alcoholic? That's where I was going.
Every famous person is an alcoholic. It's fine.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know shit about baseball, man.
I'm not the guy to ask.
Okay, but then, this is all in Charles Darwin's theory books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is all to say that once we have the big eggs, we can make bigger breakfasts for less egg. Because, when I make breakfast, it's like you could crack open 4 eggs. That's a lot of eggs, man.
It's a lot of eggs. Now you can just take one big egg.
One jumbo egg.
But think about it. So now does that mean that when I go to the grocery store and I'm looking to buy a thing of eggs, since one egg is now like the size of 4 eggs, does that mean that the carton is going to come with like 3 eggs?
No, it's just you get one basket, and it's just one egg. And
It's kind of really funny to think about. So I get one egg.
Can you imagine, like, you're driving, it's like a little
Is it the
girl on
same-
a bicycle with the basket in the front, and she's
got
got
a
one
big-ass
big egg in it.
I have maybe a stupid question for you.
No, yeah.
Would places like Costco wholesale have a really awesome like 4 times the size egg carton with 12 big eggs? in it?
Yeah, and it's like covered in styrofoam and shit. So
It's
they
like
don't...
it's like this big.
Yeah.
Like you can fit it in the back of the trunk of your car, but you have to put the seats down.
You need a forklift, a certified forklift driver to carry it out of the warehouse and load it into. You have to like rent a U-Haul to take these eggs home.
Okay, so that's why people typically just buy like one.
Yeah, most people are
makes
just going to spend, $8.50 for one egg. But then you crack it open, you have one big family breakfast, Or if you're a restaurant, you need a lot of eggs, right? Eggs are in everything. Or think about bakeries. They use so many damn eggs, Think they're gonna be able to say, "Hey, we have jumbo cake made with jumbo eggs."
Right, and it's a big cake with big eggs in it.
PETA is
Which
not
makes it better.
gonna like this operation.
No, we should have put this in the middle of the episode because then they wouldn't watch it.
They don't like most stuff with animals.
They don't like anything.
I don't even really
I'm
believe
an
that they
animal.
like animals.
I don't think they do either. We're all animals. Millions of people are dying every day, and PETA's doing fucking nothing about it. So I don't want to hear them complain.
Amen. Yeah.
Why doesn't PETA and, I don't know, any of the wars going on right now?
You ever,
Answer me that.
You see that game that PETA made where it was like it's like Mario wears
They
like
made
the
a game?
Tanuki suit. They did
Yeah.
one where it was like just a regular guy with a mustache wearing like a dead raccoon, and there's like blood on his face and shit.
I
It's
get
just
what they're
like,
going
what
for.
are you trying to do here?
I just try to make you realize the reality of a situation, except for the fact that Mario is a cartoon character, and none of the characters in Mario have blood. Obviously,
Yeah.
They run off of,
or
like,
they're every
toadstools
Thanksgiving
or
they run
something.
the poster that's like
whatever.
it's a human being stuffed with like peppers and corn and stuff like that.
Hey, some people are into that, man. That's fine.
That not for Thanksgiving, I don't think.
Maybe not for Thanksgiving. It might be a little inappropriate.
That's something to save for the bedroom, you know.
Yeah. Or I mean, it could be a solo activity, a little solo dolo action going on.
Why?
Well, maybe you want to do it in private. Definitely not on some sort of like Thanksgiving poster for the world to see.
Do you think there's a human that wants to put cranberry sauce up their ass, like just for fun?
I want you to think about
on a weekend
how many people there are on the earth.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
And then there's a lot of them. I think probably one person wants to do that. Yes, I believe that in my heart.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
I don't think you met enough people. I think that's the answer.
I think I have met enough people.
We haven't met cranberry sauce ass guy, so or girl, or anywhere in between.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Oh man, we're back.
Put the shovel back in the shed.
We're putting the shovel back in the shed. We're working on some cool stuff on the side with eggs.
Yeah, we are with eggs. We're working on one big egg.
I think,
and also there will be a Reese's
so
version
proud,
as well.
Man.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? We got to get out of this.
You wanted to talk about eggs, man. I'm just here supporting you because
I think a big egg would be nice to have. That's all I wanted to say.
I went to the grocery store on Monday after we podcasted, and there were 2 cartons of eggs at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, I thought we were, like, kind of... like, we haven't... or, I don't know, maybe you have so far, but, like, I feel like people have been joking about how expensive eggs have been getting. And this is the last thing we'll say about eggs, so we can move on. Like, people have been joking about, like, oh, like, buying a carton of eggs now is, like, $12. And I went to the grocery store for the first time, and I was finally like, well, all of my $6 eggs are gone.
Yeah.
There is nothing left. So I just didn't buy eggs.
No, I've just not been buying eggs. Like,
I've been eating tire rubber for breakfast.
It's not rhetoric anymore. I'm only eating cereal now.
Yeah, it sucks.
I only get eggs if I'm going to a fine establishment.
Right. Like Bob Evans.
Bob Evans, yeah.
Or, I don't know, Cracker Barrel?
No.
God, I hate that place.
That place fucking sucks, dude.
I've only ever been there once.
Talk about meat that tastes like rubber.
I think it is just rubber. It's not meat. They can't call that meat. That's got to be... That's just incorrect.
Rubber is tree meat.
Oh, sure. No.
If you think about it.
Rubber is like tree sauce.
Oh, I guess that's true because it's like fermented, right?
Yeah. I feel like wood is like tree meat.
Yeah, wood is tree meat.
And bark is tree skin.
So I guess, like wood paneling that you would use for an old school television set
is actually meat paneling.
That's tree meat. Everyone's always upset about fucking we kill animals and they're beautiful creatures and we eat them as burger and stuff like that. But
yeah, you still
plants are alive too.
Documentary.
They
are alive.
So like
I think the only reason that there's not a movement about like stopping eating plants is because we don't have conclusive proof that plants have consciousnesses.
No one's ever observed
or
plants like having an idea.
That's true.
Or like sharing intimacy, right?
But they share intimacy. It's just a lot different.
I don't think they share. It's not intimacy as we know it.
Oh, right. Well, they have like little cuck bees or whatever. That, like,
I don't know. This is not intimacy, man.
You mean like
intimacy
love.
Is like,
you don't mean reproduction.
Some electrons ended up on my other special electrons through the force of the wind. That's not intimacy. That's a random chance.
But maybe for them it is intimacy.
That's just swiping randomly until you get a match in Candy Crush. There was no strategy or thought. It just happened.
Sure. But that is their strategies that they've evolved, shout out to our guy, Charles Darwin, to spread their seed in that way.
Yeah.
What?
Gosh, that just when I think
You're
of,
right. I mean, it's not like a very intimate activity. It's just kind of
no,
like, hey, I'm covered. I'm a dandelion and I'm covered in seed. Hopefully, the wind comes by and picks it up and throws my seed into the wind.
I'm saying a plant is very far away from a horse
A cow.
cock, which is the image of
Wow.
intimacy. You know what I'm saying?
The image of intimacy.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I just want you to know really quickly before we move on from the whole horsecock idea, the second that you uploaded our last episode, Sam texts me and goes, "You guys went to a strip club?" And I was like, "We might have."
That's funny, man.
So I just want to let you know. Great thumbnail, by the way.
That's hey, man. I'm in my residency right now.
You're a doctor?
No, like artist residency, but because like
I think being a
artists, they
medical
go-
student is in residency makes you an artist. It's like the same thing.
Doctors are not artists, man. Doctors are
I was gonna-
professionals.
Yeah. You don't think artists are professionals?
No. All the greatest artists have no idea what they're doing when they're doing it.
That's true. A lot of great art is created by heroin.
Brian Eno, the father of ambient music, he
He's
coined
the
the
father of
term
art.
in the 70s with his famous
invented
album
art.
Ambient One Music for Airports, which, by the way, shit doesn't sound like anything that should be playing in an airport. It's all like heavenly chants and like angels and shit.
Heavenly chants?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Can you give me an example?
oh, was that good?
That's pretty good. So is it like
I
there's, like,
can't hit
monks
the high
chanting?
notes, but yeah,
It's okay, me either.
it's like way higher. We're like, his music is like 2 or 3 octaves higher than that for sure.
Ow. Okay.
So it's like up there, you know.
I want them to play like soul choir music in the airport.
But Brian Eno, he is a pioneer of sort of generative music. He goes into GarageBand and he types up a Lua script. And what he does is like he finds like some synthesizer bullshit stuff. And then he just
Right.
programs them to like press notes randomly. And then he just plays it in the background while he's like working on stuff. And then he's like passively listening to it. And he'll be like, if something is if there's too much going on in the higher register, he'll like go back to the scripts and tweak it a bit so that certain notes appear less often and that sort of thing.
That's actually kind of cool.
Okay.
I respect that.
Jackson Pollock, you know? That guy just fucking threw paint everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he did it in such a way that for some reason no one had thought to do it before. So, you think about that?
I did think about that, and I think it's stupid.
If you are the first person to do a thing, you can just make a lot of money off of it, I guess.
I don't think he was the first, though. I don't know why his shit is... I think
Well,
half of making paintings is like knowing how paint works, but it's also like being a weird
Networking.
guy, I think.
Oh, you got to be weird. Okay.
Yeah, think about like Francis Bacon, you know what I mean? Like he would go to like, you know, New York clubs and he'd be like, all this shit is fucking stupid. And he was a character. He walked around and he smoked cigarettes and he painted
everybody does that.
weird, abhorrent things, you know?
Yeah, okay. So maybe I just got to be like a weird little freak. If I want my architecture to stick, I got to make little freak buildings.
I think you have to. You ever see those like really old, like those pamphlets or brochures, or the schematic? I don't know what the word is. You ever see those
Like
things where it's like
blueprints?
when the scientists in the U.S. they were working on the damn atomic bomb, they were like, oh shit, you know, there's like waste that's left over from this big bomb that we made to destroy a
This
bunch
big
of stuff.
giant explosion, right?
And we have to do something about the waste because it's bad because you can't slurp it. If you could slurp it, we would know how to get rid of it real quick, but unfortunately you can't slurp it.
Still don't understand why we don't just send all of our trash into the sun. This is a joke. by the way, but-
Yeah. So they were like, you know, we got to bury it underground. But then they were like, you know, we don't want people to go into the structure out of like curiosity and end up in the toxic waste bunker
Yeah, and
full
then
of toxic
get,
waste.
Hulk superpowers or something.
Yeah. So they made they made the design of like the big spikes coming out of the ground with the giant tablet in like 23 different languages that was like you should not enter or
The
it is
big
bad.
spikes coming out of the ground.
Yeah, they made big spikes coming out of the ground. It was a proposal for a thing that I don't think was made.
Okay.
And it was like we're gonna put big black spikes coming out of the ground to ward off the curious humans.
That sounds pretty cool. I think that would ward me off.
It would not ward me off, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I can't. Okay. So I was just trying to be agreeable. I think if I saw giant spikes coming out of the ground, I'd be like, ooh,
You would be
what's
like, if you saw that in Minecraft, you would be like, guys,
go. I would be like, team, I've got a place for us to be.
I'm on X1000Z negative 2400.
Meet me there immediately. We're going to investigate the spikes.
I have found a mystical dungeon with air spirits, and we need to investigate.
We need to make sure they're actually made of air and spirit material.
Spirit materials. That's what I think
What do
soda
we think-
is made out of. Spirits.
Of spirit materials.
What do you think lives in the bubbles? Checkmate,
Oh.
atheist.
The soul of a dying child, probably.
Or a chicken.
Every time you kill a chicken, the soul is compressed and put into an air compressor, and they put it in Sprite.
That's why I don't fuck with those machines that can like make a soda out of anything.
Oh, SodaStream.
Yeah, it's like where do you get the souls from?
My stepdad just loves to buy shit from Costco, and he bought one of those for my family. You could sell anything for like more than 10% off, and he'd be like, guys, who need, like, he'll text our family group chat and be like, who needs an ice pick? Does anyone need an ice pick?
Yeah.
And we'll be like, no. And he's like, it's 60% off at Costco. Someone's gotta need
It's a
this.
steal.
It's a great deal.
If
And I
we're
was
not
like,
buying it, we're losing out in the long term.
I'm not even kidding. He bought the fucking ice pick and then bought classes for my mom and him to go climb a glacier in northern Michigan because he wanted to use the ice pick because it was just that good of a deal. They ended up spending, of course, more money on the classes than the ice pick, but like, you know, new life experience or whatever.
This is why
Anywho.
like American consumerism was a great idea because they would have never done that experience had the deal not existed. Think
That is
about
true.
that, you know?
Think about that. I love capitalism.
Maybe occasionally the insurance company steals money from you, but you get to climb a glacier.
Yeah, think about it. That'd be cool.
So
But yeah, he bought a SodaStream, and my brother used it to make carbonated milk. It was nasty.
Yeah, that would be pretty nasty, man.
But yeah,
you
so
ever put ice
don't
in
buy
the
a
milk?
SodaStream. No, I'm not a fucking. I also just don't drink milk.
You didn't grow up in a milk household?
No, my mom is. Well, I had like a little bit of a dairy intolerance when I was a kid.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I'm like over it now, but
But
my sister still is lactose intolerant, so we just don't really drink a lot of milk. I just don't really. I think it tastes kind of funny.
I mean, it does. Everything
Like, I don't
tastes
hate
funny,
it.
right?
Every once in a while, I'll have some milk, and I'll be like, hmm. Or like if I finish my cereal, there's some cereal milk in there, and I go, a delicacy.
I feel
Cinnamon
like
Toast Crunch milk. Oh my god!
I feel like
bro.
we grew up in that era where it's like we saw all the TVs where it's like got milk, you know, milk makes your bones strong or whatever. Which all that shit was like paid for by like lobbyists, and we know that now. And like
Right.
most of that shit is like actually not true. Like milk is good to you
No.
up to a certain point, but like
It is good for your bones. Like that's not a lie.
but if you have a lot of milk, it's bad for your bones.
yes.
it's kind of
your
like-
bones will become too strong, and they will fuse together, and you will be paralyzed for life.
If you have 3 beers,
And that's
it's a
true.
great night. If you have 8 beers,
You go to a strip club,
you go to a strip club in Japan, I guess.
and you didn't even end up. You didn't even like start there. You started in like Oklahoma, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, we saw
That's-
all the got
that's the
milk
scary part.
commercials, and like my older brother Colin, he would have a tall glass of milk every night for dinner. He would drink a full, not a regular glass, the tall glass.
Why? Why do we have to talk about it like it's like the compliment of like, oh, you're a nice tall drink of water, aren't you?
What?
You're nice. You've never heard that?
No, I've never heard that.
Really?
No.
Okay. All right. My bad. That's like a. I'm not like a I don't want to use the word old timey, but like it's like a like, oh, she's a tall drink of water, huh?
I've heard like, damn, baby, you got a hot tamale. Stuff like
Okay,
that.
so that's like a little different.
How is that different?
It's not that different. I just said it was a little different.
I think you could. What you're implying is that what I said was derogatory, and what you said was normal for people with
No,
mustaches.
what I said is absolutely derogatory. You should not call someone a tall drink of water. That's weird.
But
Because it's like, oh, I just want to drink you up.
Yeah.
Don't say that to someone unless they're you already have like an established relationship and you're just like flirting.
I don't want to drink anyone up, man. But I would love to
Speak
eat
for
someone if they
yourself.
were a hot tamale. That
That
sounds a lot more interesting to me and my values.
okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Because you think about what a hot tamale has. It has
It's got
starch, meat,
right.
probably.
I love meat.
meat. Yeah,
Yeah,
tamales
and
have meat
every
in them.
food. Yeah, every good food is just meat and starch.
Yeah,
That's like all
Burger.
that British people eat.
pizza. I mean, good pizza has meat on it.
All Scran is just starch and
That's
meat.
true. All Scran. That is literally the cornerstone of Scran.
With no starch and no meat, you have no Scran essentially.
Yeah.
Except for those weird fucking. You know what? You will have peas though. Those are a vegetable.
Did you
Mushy
play
peas. Another cornerstone of Scran.
Did you play the one day where Scrandle? It was two of the same
When you
food
texted
items
me?
versus each other. Yeah. So the first
Yes.
one was cup of mushy peas versus bowl of mushy peas. That's a
remember
brilliant
which
game,
one.
man. I think it was the
is
cup.
because I think good because there's definitely less in a cup than there is in a bowl. So I think I'd rather have that if I had to pick.
I don't know if I guess it depends on what your outlook on life is. If you were in a desert, stranded from all sources of good things,
Yeah, I guess that changes things. I think I'd
you
still
want
go
the
for cup.
bowl because it's more you get more sustenance.
Right, but it's like mushy peas, which just on the principle alone, I just can't do it.
But mushy peas is like a diamond in the desert.
Mushy peas aren't even bad. It's just
Because a
they're
diamond in the
weird.
desert is no different than a grain of sand.
So, well, then what makes it special if it's not different?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not helpful to you to have a diamond in the desert.
So, but the mushy peas, so they're not like a diamond.
Well, the mushy peas
'Cause they
are the
provide you with-
diamond of normal life, but in the desert.
Okay.
If you had
I'm going to say yes,
diamond-
and I'm going to pretend.
If you
that
had
I
a diamond
understand.
right now, you would be like, it is
Right.
cool that I have a diamond. This is helpful to my life currently.
Right. If I had mushy
But
peas,
if you were
I
in
would
the
be like,
desert
"Ew,
and
ew,
you had a
ew."
diamond, you would be like, this is not a helpful
not
item
helpful to me.
to my current circumstances.
I agree.
So if you had, I think we would all agree, if you were in the desert and you had nothing
Mhm.
but a bowl of mushy peas or a cup of mushy peas,
Hopefully, I guess we'll go with the bowl.
hopefully
It's
the
fine.
bowl, because it's more, right?
Right. And you want to eat. You're a hungry guy.
Yeah. I'm trying to bring back the word chow. I've been saying chow a lot.
Like goodbye or chow down.
Not the stuff Italians say.
So not goodbye.
Like I'm gonna go make some.
I'm gonna chow down, dude. Oh, I'm gonna make some chow.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of using the word grub. I feel like to me, chow.
I don't
sounds
like
an action.
Grub because it's adjacent to Grubhub, which is an evil Final Fantasy corporation.
It's also like a bug, and they're kind of gross.
Grubbug.
Grub bug.
Grubhub.
No, I just mean like
It gives you bugs in your bed.
I was sleeping the other day and I felt something on my side and I pulled it off and it was a spider. And I tell you, I have never been so close to screaming in my entire life.
But you didn't scream.
I was
though.
like, no, I didn't. Well,
you
I was
were
home.
cool and
I
calm
was
and
like,
collected about it.
there are other people here. Dude, I felt so cool. I got one of my roommates the other day was like, oh shit, Henry, there's a spider on this. Can you help me? And I walked over. Swiftly, I grabbed and pinched the spider,
Mm.
caught it on the leg, brought it outside, set it down on the porch, and walked away.
Hero.
Thank you. What can I say? I was in the Foo Fighters for a little bit. I wrote a song about it.
I'll be honest, I kill the bugs. I don't give a shit.
That's okay.
And maybe
It's
that's
not
like
that I
wrong.
do it.
Well, not
No,
maybe
I
it
don't.
is.
You
I
could
think
use their souls to make soda, but you're just choosing not to. So
it's
it's okay.
true. You ever see the daddy long legs and you pull their legs out individually one by one until it's just a ball?
No, that's so evil.
You know they can.
They
like,
are one of those bugs though that I hate.
but they don't do anything.
I know they're just like, and this is gonna sound awful, and hopefully someone clips this out of context in 5 years. But I just really don't like the way they look. They're weird.
Okay, I mean spiders are just weird, like by
like
default.
Jumping spiders, for some reason, they're like the perfect amount of like fuzziness, and they're small.
The
And I think
fuzziness
they're
definitely
kind of
doesn't
cute.
help.
No, but it's not like. Maybe it's the eyes. They're kind of kawaii, you know.
But you aren't getting up close and looking at a spider in the damn eyes.
Not typically, no.
Never. Don't say not typically. You've never
Well, there's
done
not
that.
no. That's not true. What about when I'm at PetSmart and I'm waiting for them to grab my fish? So I go look at the rest of the animals, and then I look at the tarantula in the glass, and I go, "I don't want you," and then I walk away.
I don't know who spread the myth originally that like tarantulas are like evil or whatever. They mostly don't do anything.
No, they're like chill. It's just freaky because it's a giant bug.
It's a giant bug, yeah.
But like, I'm sure they're cool.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
If I could get over my fear, of
having
them,
a tarantula is like sort of a badass punk thing to do. But like
yeah,
they aren't really harm. It's not like a brown recluse or something.
yeah, they'll just kill you if they bite you.
But like if a tarantula bites you, it's like, oh, that like sucks for 2 days.
We'll just be like, this really hurts, and it's like kind of swollen, but like you're not gonna die.
Yeah, you live, which is like lame.
Yeah. Which is lame.
If you're gonna have a giant spider, it should be able to kill you.
Okay.
That's only fair.
I feel like you shouldn't have a pet that could like probably kill you.
Everyone has a dog though.
And I think some people should have smaller dogs because they die. But I think each person has a dog limit.
I think everyone should have a dog that is that could kill them physically.
Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he can have pit bulls, as many as he wants.
I don't think he could kill a pit bull.
I'm not saying he could kill a pit bull, but I think that he could survive. He could stop the pit bull from killing him. I think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he could kill the pit bull, but he could get into a situation where he would survive.
Yeah, I think he could get in a situation because he's so damn big where he could get it he could pick it up by its back.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he could
then
put
just
himself like right,
spiral that bitch like a football, and it goes into Tom Brady in the end zone. Or he doesn't really do the scoring, but whatever.
Imagine sitting in your backyard, your neighbor just fucking spirals a pit bull into your yard. That sounds
like
terrifying.
Angry Birds. They got a big ass slingshot. Oh,
that would be awful.
Damn.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but like Betty White, she can't be having a pit bull.
No.
She's done.
Well, I mean, she's also just done.
She is dead. Yes.
She's dead.
But, before she died recently. I was just trying to think of like small old
humans.
Celebrities. Yeah.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito
should not have a pit bull.
No, I think you should have a dog that should be able to kill you, or that is able to kill you, because then it's like you're taming a beast. You know. I think Danny DeVito should have a Tibetan Mastiff that he can ride on top of, like a horse.
Okay, so that's actually pretty badass.
And he uses it to like storm castles and stuff.
I would love to have a tiger as a pet and ride it around.
Yeah, I think we need to show the animals who's damn boss, bro.
That's my man dream.
Your man dream.
Yeah, it's like a dream, like not like a life goal or like something achievable. It's more like something kind of silly and like stereotypically masculine,
Hmm.
which is not really normally how I live my life. But I think my man goal is to have a tiger
What's your
that I could
woman
ride.
goal?
Um, I wish I could get manicures and pedicures more often. And I'm being so straight up.
Do you mean in the sense that like you wish you could make the phone call to set up the appointment, or they're too expensive?
They're just too expensive.
Yeah.
I've done it before. I've gotten my nails done like probably 4 or 5 times. I've only had a pedi once, but it was awesome. Except they fucking tickle your feet, and I'm ticklish.
They put your damn toes in that fucking pink scrunchy thing that separates them all and stuff.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
I don't fuck with that.
They're like foot binding you, but only for
My foot
90
is
minutes or whatever.
dainty. You gotta be gentle with it. I can't be put in a contraption. I'm paying
I
for
can't lie.
human service. You know what I mean?
I have freak feet. That's why I need to get the pedicure.
You have freak feet. You have like giant's wart or whatever.
No, my feet aren't like gross or anything. They just are long for how tall I am.
You mean like their length, like heel to toe is long.
Heel to toe is long. I wear like size 11 shoes, and I'm 5'10".
That seems like pretty normal to me, I guess.
Or I guess the
I don't
proportion
know.
of how wide my foot is to how long my foot is. Like my friend Max, who wears like not a size 9 shoes, his foot is like half an inch to an inch wider than mine, and I wear a size 11 shoe.
Yeah, yeah. The sides of your feet don't like touch the walls of the shoe.
No, they do, but I have to buy like sometimes I have to buy like smaller shoes. So
Yeah,
that
you
they
you
fit.
got to get like the fucked up. They sell shoes for like the arch. If you have arched feet, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, they're not like that weird. My girlfriend just likes to say that I have clown feet because she's small and has small feet.
Hurt people, man.
Hurt people hurt people.
You know what I'm saying?
I get hurt.
A lot.
I do. People in my life are mean to me, but it's okay because I'm tough or whatever.
Speaking of being mean to people, I recently I watched the rehearsal season 2 with Nathan Fielder.
With Nathan Fielder,
Shout out Nathan Fielder, Canada's very own,
Canadians' very own.
Canada's finest. I don't know if you've ever seen anything Nathan's ever done ever in your life.
Nope. Haven't
Yeah.
ever in my life.
Nathan used to do a show called Nathan for You, where he would go to a business and he would propose a solution to a problem that they were having. So, for instance, I think the first episode of Nathan for You is he goes to an ice cream store and he goes, "You guys should do like a poop flavor to get people in the door." And he goes, "What do you
Right.
think about this idea?" And the guy was like, "I mean,
Full
we
idea.
could try it."
We could try it.
And-
That's what he said.
And they tried it. He worked with a company to make a poop flavored ice cream, and it tasted horrible.
What the fuck is the point of that?
And he got people in the door to increase business.
Well, I mean, I
To
get
this
that,
small
but, like,
business, they made a lot of money, man.
but I feel like the idea of running a successful business is like you got to build a customer base. I get like the shock factor of like what poop ice cream? Who's gonna eat that? I guess me. So then you walk in, you get poop ice cream. But if it tastes like shit, you're not gonna come back.
Well, maybe you go, you know what? The poop ice cream wasn't really my thing, but maybe they've got another ice cream that I could try because
But
the
if-
people were nice and it's a fine establishment. I could go back. Maybe I'll try the cookies and cream next time.
I guess so. It's just like if you advertise your main like kind of out there product and it sucks, I just feel like I'm not gonna be inclined to go back and to try what else you have.
You can think.
I mean,
you can think whatever you want. Here's the deal: the fucking Hot
I
Ones
would-
people sell 10 dog shit hot sauces, and they make millions of dollars.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
I didn't think about that.
No one is ever like. I mean, mostly it's like for like, oh, we can do the challenge on the TV show, but it's also like, no one is eating tacos and is like, you know what? I want a hot sauce that like makes me have diarrhea in 2 hours.
I want a hot sauce that makes me pucker my ass for a week.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen the show. They fucking are drinking a gallon of milk and ice
It's so
water
funny.
and like they're eating like sour cream and shit. Like,
I can't imagine eating sour cream by the spoon. I hate sour cream.
it gets your ass hairs sweating a little bit, you know?
The sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's like one of those things. I feel like it's not good. People just buy it for the novelty of like, oh, I'm a fan of the show and I want to try it.
Yeah.
I want to see what the level 10 hot ones, hot sauce, butthole puckering sauce is like.
But
And
I
you
would
have it
also
and you go,
imagine
wow.
that there's people who were like, maybe they found one hot sauce that they liked and they
Yeah.
went back. They bought another bottle.
Right. Sure.
So, poop
That's
ice
fair.
cream. It
I mean,
could be a big thing.
Because now that I say that, I'm a very heavy bit enjoyer. So like
Yeah.
I would go in and I'd eat shit ice cream, man, and I'd be like, all right, well that was kind of awful, but that was funny. So I'm gonna go back in and see if they have anything else.
There's another episode
I just feel
of
like
Nathan for
The
You.
average person might not think that.
There's another episode where it's like an alcohol store and they're like, yeah, we're just not getting a lot of sales. And Nathan comes up with the brilliant idea of selling alcohol to minors. Because it's an untapped customer base, if you think about it.
No,
So
it's not.
what
People
they
do
do-
it all the time.
That's true. But think
You're
about because
right. Legally.
there's loopholes to that even still, right? So we
Right,
want to.
sure.
So what they do is they sell a license to alcohol, so you can buy it now, and then when they are of age, they can go pick it up.
Okay. That's actually kind of funny.
But anyway, I've been watching. I love Nathan. He's really funny. I've been watching
He is funny.
season 2 of The Rehearsal, where it's a whole comedy series about trying to solve the problem of like airplanes crashing, and he comes to the realization that like a lot of airplane crashes are due to miscommunication between the pilot and the co-pilot in the cockpit, and if they were able to
Really?
communicate better, you know, it would solve a lot of dire situations.
Right.
So he learns how to become a pilot, and he,
Like actually?
and he actually for real flies a Boeing 737 or whatever, and he goes out there, and he the rehearsal, the like bit of it is that we like over rehearse and we like make incredibly accurate. They'll do like stage design of like someone's
like of a
bedroom,
plane.
and they'll get like every detail the same way of someone's bedroom, and then they'll like rehearse with actors for big moments in people's lives. And so he rehearses, so he helps real pilots rehearse difficult conversations in the cockpit.
Wow.
It's one of the most genius things I've
And it's like
ever seen.
It's a comedy series?
Yeah.
Hell, I'll watch it. What is it on?
One shows.live.
That was a good answer.
Other things also. I couldn't tell you. I think it's on HBO.
I just hate when I go and watch a show and then people are like, oh, do you have like Zing Bop? And I'm like, no, what the fuck is that?
I don't
Like,
got fucking Verbo, bro.
Right. Because they make TV shows now. They probably do. Who cares?
If they could put TV shows on fucking, I was gonna say Amazon as a joke. They literally have that.
They do.
If they could
Hey, you wanna
put
know what?
TV shows on the goddamn Five Guys order online app on your phone, they would do it.
They would, yeah.
'Cause
Everything
they
is
get
designed to suck
them-
money out
the
of us.
goddamn ad money.
Gotta get the goddamn ad money.
But I was thinking
Way to
about it
live.
because I was like, oh, dude, I have this idea in my mind. First off, every guy has the idea that like they could land a plane, which is
I don't
true.
think it-
Every guy could do it. You can try it and let us know how that goes. I always like to think in another life I would be like a pilot.
I think
It's
you
like
could
an
be a good pilot.
alternate route for me. And then I was watching the show and I was like, I saw
Never mind.
Nathan like rehearsing like trying to memorize like all the different buttons in the cockpit and like the order of things, and you have to do like the walk around the plane and like look at the engines to make sure that they look and I'm like, nah,
Never
dude, I struggled with vocab in 6th grade, like memorizing like, you know, the word minutia. So That's not really.
I can't do it.
I don't
I'm
know
out.
if I could make it.
And I think that's okay.
It's too much memorization, you know.
It is a lot of memorization.
I mean, you see all the damn buttons
It's
in
like
there.
learning a language.
Like, what the fuck is the? I can't even conjure the idea
do I know
of
where,
a
like,
button in a
the
cockpit. I have no idea.
Yeah, like how do I know where the like eject like fecal matter from the plane button is, whereas compared to like the eject passenger from the bathroom
Yeah.
like button? Not that that's a button, but it could be.
Or you could
There's
eject
just
the
a button
door
that just opens the
also.
exit doors like immediately.
I think they might have that actually. That seems like a thing that they would need.
I feel like they can't, right? Because then what is the whole point of having people sit in the exit row and being like, "Hey guys, just so you know, if we have an emergency on the plane, you're gonna have to open the door."
But what
Do
if
you think you can do that?
the doors are stuck for some reason, and so you would need like a button that like triggers like an automatic release pulley system that pushes the door open. You know, you could
You're
see
saying, like,
that
maybe
situation.
Yeah, like let's say that the doors, like if the plane crashes, I guess, or comes to like a water landing, and you just get out of the emergency exit
Like
doors,
Sully
like Sully, and
landed
you
on
can
the
just
Hudson.
open the doors. Then I guess like you could still reuse the same plane. You wouldn't have to replace the doors and whatever.
Yeah.
But you're saying like if they're stuck, there could be just like a button that like shoots
Well,
them off the side
I
of
don't
the
think you
plane.
can reuse a plane that lands in the Hudson. I don't know.
You absolutely can.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they use
I
that
mean,
plane again? No
think
shot,
about how
right?
expensive it would be to like. I mean, yeah, you could just build another plane, I guess, but you could just build half of a plane, and that's half of the cost. Like you would just repair a salvaged plane.
I've seen people's basements flood. I can't, and there's a lot of work that goes into like restoring someone's basement after a flood. Think about what you would have to do when an entire plane gets flooded.
Okay, so maybe there are some scenarios in which you would keep the plane.
That
But, like,
maybe it's happened, but that seems
building a
insane
plane
to
is
me.
like millions of dollars. Like
I know.
minimum. You're not gonna like if it's half the cost to just repair half the plane.
You can't
I feel
churn
like
a
you probably
plane
just
out in a
repair half the
day.
plane.
That's like a
No, I'm not saying
years-long
it's like
thing.
I'm not saying it's like Rome or whatever. They're not going to get it done really
No.
quick, but building half a plane is definitely easier than building a full plane, I would imagine. You just look at the other half and you go, "Oh, just do this again."
I will agree that building half a plane is probably easier than building an entire plane.
What can I say? Sometimes I say things that are just so intelligent that it's beyond me.
And you know what? I would say I would go even further. Maybe building a quarter of a plane is even easier than that.
I'm just saying, man, everything in our country is about efficiency and spending. So if you have to spend less money to just repair the plane that's not like damaged beyond repair, then they're just gonna
I
repair the
agree.
plane.
I don't think they used the plane that landed in the Hudson again.
I will agree with that. Yes, absolutely.
I can't imagine a world where that happened.
I think they probably turned it into like a
especially
theme park
if you
exhibit.
knew you were going on a flight and they were like, "Isn't this cool? This is the plane that like landed on the Hudson." Maybe some people would seek the thrill, but other people would be like, "I would like to request a flight change."
Let me tell you, if I could get on that flight on Spirit Airlines for like $20, I'd do it.
No, I would not. No.
You don't have to. No one's making you, but I will.
Lightning does strike twice. People don't want to believe it, but it's true.
No, lightning definitely strikes twice.
And in the same spot.
Yeah.
Especially if
It
there
can do
happens
that.
to be metal in the spot.
Right. Lightning loves metal.
For some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know. It's just kind of like that, I guess.
I don't know. But I think like and then later in the show, Nathan Fielder, he like obviously this is like all for a comedy series that he wants to do, but then it becomes like a part-time job for him where he like works with a contracting company.
And he's a pilot.
He like actually becomes like a pilot that like he works for this company that like just relocates planes. Sometimes you just have a plane that like you don't need, so you send it somewhere else in the world. And so he
I mean, that makes
flew
sense.
a plane over Brazil and like over into like Namibia or some shit like that.
That's crazy.
I was like, that man, I could not. I don't think I could fly a plane over an ocean. I just don't. I couldn't grapple with that reality. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No.
I'm not one of the guys who's like, yeah, I think I could fight a bear, or like, yes, I could successfully land a plane. I don't think either of those are a thing that I could do.
But you know what you can do right now? Sports gamble. Which leads us into our next topic. I wanted to talk about this last week, but we ran out of time.
This is what you wanted to talk
This
about.
was also like 3 weeks ago, so it's old news at this point. But it's
Of course.
relevant to our lives.
I think
Valorant,
that's
we
all
know
that's
this.
kind of important.
VCT. There's
Mhm.
2 tiers to the esports competition. There's the franchised, like tier 1, it's called, with all the teams who pay to be sort of in like the Riot circuit.
Yeah.
And then there's tier 2, where you can get into tier 2 if like through Premier in like the game. Like if you and your friends just squad up, play Premier, win that tournament, there's a chance of you getting into tier 2. And then if you win all the games in tier 2, or you know most of your games in tier 2, and then like the final bracket, you can make it into tier 1. It provides this ladder of competition, you know, and it's a cool thing. The tier 2 teams are it's sort of like the NFL and college football, you know, where the tier 2 people, they're not getting paid salaries. They just do it for the love of the game because they like competition. And we like Valorant, you know.
We love Valorant.
But recently, Sean Gares, if you know anything about Counter-Strike or Valorant, you know Sean Gares. For Henry, because he doesn't know, Sean Gares was...
He doesn't know.
He was a
Well, there might be
professional-
other people other than me who don't know.
Sean Gares is a professional Counter-Strike player. He played for Cloud9 in like 2014 to like 2016 or some shit like that. He won a bunch of tournaments. Very well-known guy. He now does coaching for... He coached for 100 Thieves for a little bit, and then I think now he coaches for Shopify Rebellion, which is a tier 2 team in Valorant. And
Sorry.
what are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing because I love when companies sponsor like teams, but they have to like contractually have the name of the business in the company.
Yeah.
Like how Red Bull's racing team is now the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls,
Or
which is just like the worst team name of all time.
it was FTX TSM for a little bit.
Yeah, like what the fuck, man?
Which do you
Just
even...
first of all, 2 acronyms, that's just too much.
No, it's too much. Do you know what TSM stands
too many
for?
letters.
I learned this the other day.
No idea.
Team Solo Mid. It's a league reference. Isn't that the
Awesome.
lamest shit of all time?
I think if you have to explain anything as a league reference, then yes, it is the lamest shit of all time.
It's so funny to be like, we are the crypto League of Legends organization. And we have people who play Rocket League for some reason. But
We
anyway,
love Team Solo Mid.
Sean Gares made a video recently where he exposed there's people in tier 2, there are people on teams, and people who like run crypto sports betting websites who are fixing matches in tier 2. People are on purpose throwing games and cheating in games, like using some sort of outsider information, probably.
I do remember us like briefly talking about the fact that people were cheating in tournaments, but I thought you meant like they were aimbotting or some shit.
No, people are like, I mean, we don't know how they're cheating, I think, is sort of the, like, no one has come forward and said
Problem.
anything to my knowledge. But if you like look at the VODs, I mean, it's very strange, like looking at pro level and people, like there's just one guy who plays Jet or whatever, and they just go straight forward. They don't clear any of the angles. They just happen to know where people are like all the time. You know what I mean? Like just little things, like you look at where they're looking at and like how they peek the angles, and they just every time
Yeah,
they
and
seem
it's
to
like, why
know.
wouldn't they check?
Yeah. So it's a little suspicious. But then you
it's
have
kinda
similar situations, same people who are just throwing matches completely for no reason. But I guess the reason is to make money.
I was saying, they're just getting like payouts from the other teams, I assume.
Yeah, there's DMs, leaked DMs from this one guy, one of one Bray, which is a cool, awesome name to have if you're running an illegal sort of gambling operation.
It's pretty cool to have as a name if your name is Bray and you're the only person named Bray in the whole world, which I doubt.
But the messages are just like, he hits up, because, you know, most of the players on these teams are like young, They're doing it as like a part-time thing.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have a fucking salary, or maybe they're not going to college because of this. And they're taking some risk on playing video games for a job. And one of
Yeah, so
one
they wanna
Bray
make sure they
comes
make
into
money.
their DMs and they go, "Yo, hit me up if you want to make $1 million at 19, bro."
$1 million?
Something like that, yeah. But he'll post screenshots of like, bet on your game last night, won 20K. Let me know if you want to fucking build, bro.
That's crazy.
It's wild, man.
So essentially, they're just like throwing on purpose or like trying to orchestrate a certain result so that they can get
Yeah.
money from gambling.
Yes. And they're also,
Fire.
it's like fucked up. It's not like this team beats this team in this game. It's like, we believe that in game 3 of this 5-game series, this team will lose this specific map. It's like
That's
crazy
crazy.
parlays with like
And
insane
they'll
odds, you know?
They'll lose this score in particular.
Yeah. That kind of
That's crazy.
fucked up gambling, man.
I mean, they probably make hella money, but
Yeah.
that's I don't know why sports betting has come to like the forefront of popular media recently.
No,
'Cause
we
it's
like
not
had
even
it
just,
like
Valorant. All of
outlawed
my
for a
friends sports
reason,
bet.
right?
Right. And now it's just like,
And now it's like, don't you? It's Draft Kings. You can be a king in it. Don't you
Right.
want to be a king with money? Don't you know LeBron James better than everyone else?
it's true. I do.
That's
I know
the
everything about
allure,
LeBron
right?
James.
Like they get
know
you
his
on
eye
the
color.
idea that like you somehow have a better idea of how the sports happen than anybody else, which is a stupid thing. to
Maybe
think.
that's why I don't fall for it, because I don't fucking watch sports.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
I know that I don't know anything about sports.
But for a lot of people, it's like the betting becomes a reason to be more invested. I've read like
Yeah, for sure.
articles
'Cause, I mean,
with
you
like
can make
younger
some money.
people who had just gotten into it, and they're like, "Well, you know, a lot of people watch sports, so I was like, I'll watch sports, and then I'll make money because it's all fucking baseball numbers." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we just all need more money because everything's too expensive. So everyone's just trying to find like a secondary income. And, you know, if you're just watching sports, you already enjoy it, you might as well bet. But I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of the time you're just going to lose.
But it's interesting in Valorant specifically. One, because like this exact same thing happened in Counter-Strike a long time ago. And still on some level probably happens because Valve doesn't care about shutting any of the illegal goddamn case European websites down, right?
No, they probably pay them a fee or whatever.
Yeah, it's probably like totally fine. It's not like you don't need like
It's probably totally legal.
age verification or whatever. It's like, just get in there, you know, buy some cases. They could have anything.
Get in there and do your thing, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there could be anything inside
Who
of this
doesn't want a
magical
butterfly
box.
knife, you know?
I do want a butterfly knife. I just think that it would be easier to get one if you just spent $1,000 on one on Steam Marketplace instead of opening one in a case.
But where's the thrill in that?
Oh, the thrill is that I get what I want. And there's no risk involved.
No
The
risk.
thrill is that I
no
pay for
thrill,
a
bro.
product and I receive it.
No, that's lame, man.
That's like why
What I want to do,
anyone who loves gambling, they should go to Japan. Everything there is gambling.
I think you should be able to put $100,000 down, and you should be able to spin for what kind of house you get. You might get a mansion. You might get a New York City 10 square foot
Penthouse.
closet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying like you just put 100,000 down,
But you own it.
and we'll say it's like, yeah, right. Oh, you own it.
Yeah. No mortgage.
I think unironically, you've got a pretty lucrative business idea.
Right? Think about all the rich people that would do this shit.
Pay us $100,000, but it's like, you know, the odds are obviously low. I mean, it's just like winning the lottery. It's like you give us $100,000, you could get a property that's worth. You could get a property that's worth like 10K, 20K. Well, I guess it would have to be at least. Maybe the promise is that like it's at least livable.
Yeah.
Like even if it's like an apartment or something, like you own it obviously, but like, you know, you have a bathroom and a shower and
Yeah.
a bed and all that fun stuff. Hmm. But then, like, there's like a 1 in 500 chance that you get to live next to fucking Jake Paul or something.
Yeah. All you need to start this business is a shit ton of real estate.
Yeah, and that's like super easy.
That's so easy to get. Because I've seen the
Maybe
TikToks
we should
where
just start working at.
you
We
get
should pitch this to BlackRock. They would love this.
BlackRock would love this. Yeah.
They
It's
would.
it's not BlackRock. It's like the other one, right? It's like Blackstone does the real estate shit.
The real estate.
Yeah. A
I don't
BlackRock
really know
does
what I'm
like
talking about,
financials.
Yeah.
A Blackstone might be owned by
Owns-
BlackRock. I don't
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Blackstone is the real estate one. And people just think it's BlackRock because it's a bigger name.
Oh, whatever, man. Mom and pop landlords own 80% of the 14.
What is a mom and pop landlord? Yeah, we own 100
like
apartments.
not a corporation.
If you are a landlord, you are, like, by definition, a corporation.
I
right?
know not a single corporation owns all houses. Yeah, thank you. I know that. Duh. Blackstone, you were right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently Invitation Homes is worse. They have more houses.
See, and we don't even know who those people are. That's fucked up, man.
It's crazy. 7 million houses are owned by corporations. That's fucked up.
That's like at least a couple million.
Yes. About 7 even. I almost didn't even process what you said. I was like, yeah. Yeah, man.
But anyway, I bring all this up to say that we could make a lot of money in Valorant, I think. If being a pro just
yeah, but we're not-
constitutes throwing or cheating, I wish I got into that shit
I was going to say,
5 years ago, man.
dude, I do that shit anyway. I don't even throw. I'm just not very good. But, like, throw me in the lobby, dude. I'll be like, yeah, what's up? It's TSM Blue Tunes.
And I would at least make a better show of it than they do, you know?
Yeah, because I would pretend like I'm really trying and I would still lose. It would be great.
No, but
It would look really convincing.
I'd do some fun stuff.
Because I'd die for like the 20th time and then I'd smash my desk and my keyboard would break in half.
I would get a kill and then I would like make a smiley face in the bullets in the wall or stuff like that, you know? I'd be a real entertainer about it. Like, we can make this shit into WWE, but it's video games.
Yeah, we could. It'd be fun.
Yeah. We could be the Rock of Valorant. We take a bunch of steroids. No, Dwayne. We take a bunch of steroids.
How are steroids going to make us better at Valorant?
It's all about the image, though, because, you know, the esports business is not around the teams. It's around the players. Everyone knows this. This is why esports is so damn fucked up. Because like, an organization and, like, the person have unequal footing. You traditionally, it would be that, like, you know, the management of the Cleveland Browns has all the power because they have the resources and stuff like that. But most of the time in esports, the player has the same resources as the org because they're like a popular person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
You know, a lot of them are content creators. Like, what does the org bring you fundamentally that you wouldn't be able to get on your own?
You can play on a team.
The org can get you sponsorships really easy.
Yeah, they can. But, like,
and that's
I guess if you're already a content creator,
like, they have the marketing
do that.
people, which normally people who play video games don't want to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
But outside of that, like, you know,
didn't really bring anything else to the table.
No, not really.
You can hang out with other influencers and you get to wear matching shirts. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you get free 100 Thieves merch. And you get to hang out with Nadeshot, which for some people is cool. For me, it just sounds like a nightmare.
That sounds like my personal hell. It's Nadeshot, 70 other random people, and myself, and we're all trying to check out at a convenience store.
Yeah.
And the hallways are just thin enough to the point where they can't fit 2 people side by side. It's like 1.5. So you got to keep being like, oh, excuse me. and like I just want to buy a water bottle and then leave, but everyone else is in front of me. And Nadeshot's like, "Hey Henry, do you want a 100 Thieves t-shirt?" And I'm like, "No, man, please stop asking me."
He doesn't talk like that. He go,
Henry,
no.
see one of those?
Yo, Henry, do you,
I don't know Nadeshot.
You've swag up on a bitch?
He would say that.
That's my best impression of him, I think.
So
I don't think I could do it better than that.
100 Thieves Nadeshot sounds like that. He'd be like, "Yo, Henry, you trying to swag up on a bitch?"
Yeah.
Bro, what do you say, bro?
He's like a very casual frat energy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's very slight. It's weird. Maybe
sorry.
Maybe he would. I don't think so.
Less aggressive than that?
He's like a normal guy, but with just a twinge of like
a twin.
I like Gatorade, you know? I don't know. Well, I guess he wouldn't.
It's my
drink
favorite
Gatorade.
sports
he drinks,
beverage.
Juvee or whatever. He's got his own
Juvee?
energy drink company.
No fucking way. Why is everyone doing this?
Well, it was his dream when he was a kid. He said in the announcement video, he was like, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to start an energy drink company.
No, you fucking... That's not true. You're so full of shit.
Every kid... That was my dream when I was a kid. I'll say it.
No, it wasn't.
I wanted to start an energy drink company.
If I told my mom when I was 10 that I wanted to start an energy drink company, she would have sent me to conversion therapy. It's true.
Why do you think Logan Paul did it, man?
Every
it's
time
every kid's dream.
Every time there's a monster-related product in my house and my mom comes to visit, she goes,
"Yeah,
that better not be yours." And I go, "No, it's not, Mom, because I've quit now or whatever."
Yeah.
But
it was Nate's dream to make an energy drink.
It was
company.
not his dream. That is not true.
Since he was 5, man, he wanted to do
That's
it.
even worse.
And now he's
just
here.
lying.
Isn't that beautiful?
You can say that was your dream when you were like 18.
Why would Nadeshot lie to us? Think about that.
Because it makes a great story for a business. That's why. Which I totally get. It's not wrong to do that. He's just lying. It's just not true. Ever since I was 5 years old, I always wanted to create a proton accelerator. That was my dream. I read about it. Bill Nye the Science Guy was like, "Henry," we met in person. Actually, he came into my science class, and I was like, "Bill Nye the Science Guy, I'd like to make a proton accelerator." And he was like, "Wow, Henry, that's beautiful."
No, he did.
And I was like, "I'm only this many, Bill, and I want to build one." And he was like, "Wow, Henry, I'm gonna make notes that that's your dream." And now, 5-year-old Henny G over here is like, "I'm gonna make a proton accelerator."
No, Bill Nye the Science Guy, he kind of talks like this. He goes, "Hey guys, check this out. It's a spring."
Yeah.
It's always that show was like all like fisheye lens, like zoom in, like fucking.
Yeah, it fucking rocked.
It was awesome, man. It was dope as fuck.
Actually. Yeah, well,
they edited those videos like fucking Tony Hawk edited skate montage.
Where can I watch this?
It was so fun.
Oh, it's on
man.
YouTube. Dope.
Like Bob Ross.
Season 1, episode 2, Earth's Crust. I'm gonna have to watch that later.
But anyway, man, what else
I know, bro.
going on, man? Fucking, you see Taylor Swift got her master's back? And I ain't talking about education.
Like the golf tournament?
Yep, she owns the Masters now.
I knew it.
It's a business venture.
What do you mean
partnered
she got
up with
her
Tiger
Masters
Woods.
back?
Her songs, she lost the rights to her songs.
Yeah. Oh, she got them back.
Yeah, she got them back.
Wasn't that the whole point of why she made like Taylor's versions of every one of her songs and then released them?
Yeah.
So now she owns both of them.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a W.
Good for her, I guess.
It's like
the whole.
It's just symbolic.
Why would they
W.
give them back in the? I get it, but she already made Taylor's version of every one of her songs.
Is she gonna? Well, she didn't do all of them. That's the thing. So now there's.
I guess you're right.
So now it's legally ethical to listen to the original version of the songs, which is cool, I guess. But
okay,
is she gonna remake the shit she didn't remake? Are we still gonna do that?
I feel like probably
then if
not.
so, what's
Now
the
if
point
it's-
of the originals? It's not like
I don't
she's
know.
doing one of these like AC/DC like 20-year anniversary remastered because like the technology they originally recorded with was like so dog shit and awful, and they didn't understand how mixing worked back in the day
Hey,
because it was
that's
very
fair.
early in sort of the development of stereo sound.
Right.
So
The
they were like
2011 remaster of Rock You Like a Hurricane fucks hard.
like the original stereo mix for all the Beatles songs where like all the vocals are in the left earphone and all
Yeah,
the
it's
drums and guitars were in the right earphone, and it's just like,
yeah.
why is it like this?
Right, because it's just not what you want.
Obviously that needed to be remastered and stuff like that, but like
Yeah, sure.
now there's a bunch of Taylor Swift music that like doesn't, it's only from like 10 years ago or whatever, like
I don't know, man.
it's not that it's old, you know.
I feel like you just listen to either of them now, I guess. It doesn't really matter. She's going
Yeah.
to get all the revenue anyway, right? Hopefully.
I think so, yeah.
Not that she needs it, but
No,
I'm not even like a Taylor Swift hater. I just mean she's very successful.
I mean, I would imagine
she's already a billionaire. She doesn't need any more money.
I would imagine she spent more than she'll make on like the restreams, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So
That was probably expensive to do. But isn't she? She's a billionaire.
she's a
isn't she?
billionaire, yeah.
Yeah. All right. She's fine. And I feel this way about everyone. I think Elon Musk should lose $499 billion. But
Travis Kelce is not pulling his weight in the relationship.
and Jeff Bezos, I think his shit should just be blown smooth off.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
But
I think we should put him in a giant coop and take a baseball
We should-
bat to that
hit
shit.
him with a baseball bat. and hopefully, and for him, it's Sunday every day.
Yeah.
The bat always has nails in it.
As long as he
No, I don't want to like
fucking-
torture him. I just want to remove him from his life. You know, like, and I don't mean in a way like I'm gonna elaborate.
You
'cause
mean
I
like
realize how that sounds.
the you bring a fish to the farm after it lives a long life.
No, I don't want to kill him. I think he
No,
should be
you
placed in
would,
like a.
the fish don't die when they go to the farm. They live
That's
a happy
exactly
life
what it
forever.
means.
No,
Right, you're right. Well, okay, so I don't want that for him. I don't want him to live a happy life forever. That's not what I want.
Happy life forever quotes, right?
Okay, so are we taking it seriously that they're at the farm, or are we alluring that they're dead?
Jeff Bezos is at the farm, and
No,
he gets
he is
he gets a
going to
bat
New York
every
City.
Sunday. He's going to New
He's
York.
living-
What?
Yep, he's living in New York City. He's going to be living on the 58th floor of some shitty ass building in a 1-bedroom apartment. Oh, sorry, it's a studio. 1-room apartment with a bathroom. And the toilet folds out from the wall, and so does the bed. And he has to live like that for the rest of his life. He cannot move, no matter what he does.
I think we should drop Jeff Bezos off at like a pirate camp in Somalia, and he has to live out that movie Captain Phillips every day.
I'm glad you said in Somalia, because otherwise I was just thinking about like Jeff Bezos being dropped off in the middle of like, I don't know, Northeast Ohio, and it's like, guys, we're going to pirate camp. And they just like faked being on a boat for a couple of weeks. It's like sleepaway camp, but it's pirate.
That sounds like a fire summer camp, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It sounds awesome. Especially when Jeff Bezos is there and he's like, hey guys, do you want Fritos? Because I could buy you 8 million of them.
Yeah, you get to play with gold coins and scrape barnacles off of
Yeah, that sounds dope as
Fishing
hell. I'm going to
equipment.
swap the poop deck or whatever.
yeah, starboard shit, man.
I've always wanted to do that.
No, well, why are we giving him an apartment, man? We should dump him in the middle of fucking nowhere, like he deserves.
Like, I don't want him to have the worst life ever. I just want him to have to live like everyone else.
I think he should have to earn a living. He should have to learn how to use an AK-47 and take over enterprise shipping freights. You know,
Okay, that's fine too.
and he has to scrounge. You know, the he gets 1% of whatever the chieftain of the tribe makes, or however that shit works. It's been a while since I've watched the
Okay.
movie.
Yeah, it's all right.
And then he takes,
Okay.
what's the Tom Hanks? He takes Tom Hanks hostage in a submarine or whatever.
Oh, okay, so Tom Hanks is here too.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we make
Yeah,
Jeff
cool.
Bezos do blackface, just because I think it would be funny.
It would be kind of fun.
I don't agree with it, but I think we should do it.
Yeah, I think he already has enough like bad rep. You know?
Robert Downey Jr. got away with it.
Yeah, but he's like funny and cute and charismatic and whatever.
I don't think he's cute.
He's kind of cute. He's got a charm to him.
The guy who did blackface has a charm to him.
Yes. That's why he got away with blackface. Duh.
I guess that's true.
That's like why everyone still loves Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller did blackface in
Yeah,
Zoolander.
yeah.
Well, actually, I guess he wasn't a black person.
He got more flack for it though.
Who, Ben Stiller?
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Well, that's why he got away with it. He's like
He was Iron Man after
everyone's
though.
favorite superhero. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know, man.
Like he
They
did
hired Robert Downey
the
Jr.
role in
to
Tropic
be
Thunder,
Iron Man.
and then he
Yeah.
got more roles after that.
Yeah, I guess he did. Well, he was like an alcoholic when he was playing Iron Man. In the
Yeah, he
first
did
movie.
cocaine and shit,
Yeah.
which is kind of hype.
So what's up with that? Like, I'm doing well. I've never done cocaine. Why can't I be Iron Man?
So it sounds like you need to do cocaine to do even better.
I don't think that's how it works typically.
Okay, well he did cocaine and he's better than you. Yes, no.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Okay.
He lives in his house. I don't know if you know this. It's a lighthouse.
He lives in a lighthouse that shines light
Yes.
for boats.
Sorry, one of his houses. He's RDJ. He's got multiple.
But that's not.
houses.
Okay. So he owns a lighthouse. It's not
No,
a
no,
lighthouse.
well,
Is not a house.
It is a house that it was a lighthouse that was restored and converted into a house. So he lives in a house that is connected to a lighthouse.
Oh,
that
so the
has
lighthouse,
functioning-
is it functional?
Yes.
Does he operate it?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, if it exists, I would imagine it would be helpful for it to be
I
operational.
feel like it's got to be that like he can't operate it. Maybe like if the Coast Guard, they hit him up on the line, they're like, "Hey, RDJ, there's a boat coming in off the coast. Can you turn it on?"
No, this is like one of those rich people things. He's like, I'm gonna operate it. What the fuck
Maybe.
else is he doing? He doesn't do Marvel anymore, so.
Yes, he does. He's back. He's Doctor Doom.
Oh, he's back? I didn't know about this.
Yeah. It was like the craziest. Disney announced it like, I don't know, probably like 6 months ago at this point.
Hmm.
They were like, "All right, guys, here's the new Doctor Doom," and then the guy who's wearing the Doctor Doom mask pulls it off, and it's just RDJ again.
I'm tired of
So-
celebrities being like, I'm done for real, and then they come back.
I mean, he didn't say he was done for real. They just killed off his dude.
He said he wasn't gonna do Marvel movies anymore. He was like, I'm tired of it.
Do you know what the power of a paycheck does?
I'm very aware of the power of
This
the
is like when
paycheck.
Jim Carrey was like, word for word, was like, "All right, I'm retiring from acting. Period. I'm only gonna, star in a movie again if God drops me a golden script straight from heaven." And then
Yeah.
6 months later, he was like, "All right, guys, I'm in Sonic 3." Like,
That was probably a contract that he was already signed into.
no,
though.
nope.
No, what
Swear
do you
it.
mean no?
I mean, no. Like, it publicly is information that, like, he was retired. And then they started production for Sonic 3, and they were like, "We need you." And he was like, "All right, fine."
Donald Glover's gonna do the same thing. He was like, I'm done with rapping. He's gonna be back, man.
Yeah, but he's so fucking cool, so I want him to be back.
I don't want him to be back. I think he's shit ass at rapping.
But no, I like his music.
Okay.
I don't think he's like the best in the world, but he's cool.
I think it's fucked up that you can make a song called 3005 or whatever. He hasn't lived that year. He shouldn't be able to make a song called that.
The Jonas Brothers did that. What about that?
I don't even know who that is. Are those two fucking hunks on HGTV? They renovate people's houses and shit.
I said the Jonas Brothers, right? That's what I said.
Who is that? Yeah, I think so.
You don't know about the Jonas Brothers?
I don't know who the Jonas Brothers are.
Nick Jonas.
Indiana Jonas?
No. You know Nick Jonas? Nick Jonas was like a Disney Channel kid.
Oh,
And
I
then
wasn't
he and
a
his two
Disney Channel
brothers
guy.
Happened to also be musically talented. I think it's like Joe Jonas and fucking
Joe Jonas.
I know. Can you believe that's his name? Members: Nick Jonas, Joe Jonas, Kevin Jonas.
Hmm.
The mandolin. He is not, bro.
And what
That
do
is
they
not
do?
true. They make music.
What
And it's
kind of
like-
music?
Like pop music. It's all right.
They're doing like some Harry's House type shit.
Yes, actually, I think I would compare that. But Harry's House is much better.
Yeah, he's got style.
Right.
And the Jonas Brothers have fucking Jonas.
They have Nick Jonas, and he's like, cute or whatever.
But it's not like the Gallaghers. This is no Oasis situation.
No, and it's no like Jackson 5. It's no,
Yeah, yeah.
they're not that good.
It's
But
fucked up that Janet Jackson wasn't part of the Jackson 5. She's like one of the better Jacksons out there.
oh yeah,
It's fucked up, man. Or I like that the Gallagher brothers, they just hate each other so fucking much.
really, I didn't know.
It's,
That.
yeah, yeah. Noel Gallagher, he'll go on Twitter, or there's a famous tweet from Noel Gallagher where he ats his brother, and he says, "Hey man, I gotta tell you something," and his brother replies, "What?" And then Noel goes, "I fucking hate you," or
I hope you
something like
die.
that, something to that effect.
Oh, it's so sad. I love Oasis.
Yeah, I think they get together once in a while for like a reunion tour. And this is that shit. Bands do this all the time.
Which is funny because they're like, siblings. You would think
Aerosmith was
together.
like doing their actual final for real this time we swear tour. Like just
right,
recently.
and then that didn't happen.
Well, I think it happened, but I think they're gonna be back because they're always gonna be back. The Pink Floyd guys are still kicking it, even though they're both like 80. It's fucked up, man.
But yeah, you can't just not,
You
gotta be
actually
making
can.
money
You could just
somehow.
stop. You could just chill.
You
Jeff Bezos
but,
could
like,
just chill.
You wouldn't. He could, but
He doesn't
won't.
need a wife that looks like that. He wanted one, which is weird.
I couldn't agree with you more. I don't know why people look like that, but yes, he wanted one.
He could have just bought one of the goddamn Tesla robots.
Yeah, and also like I just can't really imagine them like fulfilling each other's needs. And maybe that's wrong of me. But like I feel like he's just like dating a woman who has tons of plastic surgery and like looks nice or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
It's
they're
like
married, right? Aren't they?
I think they're married.
Like,
But
what the fuck's the point?
I would imagine from Jeff Bezos' POV, it's like he thinks in like algorithms and like, bandwidth and circling back and that sort of thing. So I would imagine that it's like, for him, it's just like there's an idea of like what being a human is. And
And he's like,
I don't
need a
mean this
hot
in
wife.
like he's like a lizard alien person like Mark
Yeah.
Zuckerberg way. I just mean like some of these computer people are like fucked up in the head, like actually. And he
Yeah.
probably just thinks about it like, normal
algorithm.
people are like have these parameters set. So I need to hit all the parameters.
Yeah, I need to have a hot wife who looks like a Barbie doll.
Yes. I need to have a representation of like the American dream. And
I bet
other
his house doesn't
billionaires
have
do
any white picket
spaceships.
fences.
I don't think he has a lighthouse.
I bet he doesn't even have 2.5 kids.
I don't know if that's true. I think he has
Who's to say?
kids.
Does he have 2.5 of them?
That would
doubt
say,
it.
I would say he either has 2 or more than 3. I don't think he has
He
2.5.
has a son.
Like on some fucking King Solomon shit, you cut the baby in half.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the son with his first wife or
Wait,
his
Jeff
other
Bezos has
wife?
4 kids. Okay, wait, what happened? Okay, so why did you tell me there's 1? Jeff's 4 children with his ex-wife and kids. Son what the fuck? 2 biological sons and 1 adopted daughter.
It's kind of cool.
So he has a son, Preston, who was born in 2000.
Shout
And
out.
he has 2 biological sons as well, I guess, and an adopted daughter. And their names are not public knowledge, which is kind of baller.
That's kind of baller. Maybe because they're in witness protection.
I don't think that's it.
Because their dad
they're
is
adults.
so fucked up.
I just feel like if your dad is like the second richest man on earth, like you could get kidnapped, ransom money.
I guess. I don't know if the world's that fucked up though.
I think it absolutely is.
I think I heard an interesting idea the other day, which is instead of trying to regulate Amazon and the other big companies, we should let Amazon take over the United States, and then we do a revolution, and then the government, because the United States is Amazon at that point, So when
Right.
we revolution, we control Amazon and we just turn it into a communist situation. And then all the infrastructure is already set up. And I was like, that's honestly, that might be a quicker route to what I want.
I think you might be right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not
Do
a
you want
bad
to be
idea.
awesome? What if Amazon built trains to get their packages across the country? You know, for like
Amazon
business
has their
purposes,
own
obviously.
highways meant for humans and packages alike.
Right. And if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, now being upped from $9 a month to $20 a month, you can use the Amazon Prime Expressway.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the
They have their
fucking
own
Tesla
lane on the
tunnels.
highway where it like activates and it gives you like the
Well,
Super Mario blue fire coming out of your exhaust.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They grab onto your tires and they just propel your car forward at like 120 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's a great idea, man.
Dude, maybe that might be a great idea.
So we just have to like wait. So actually, next election, and you can hold me to this, I'm going to vote for the Republican Party because they're not going to do any of the regulations. Amazon will take over. And then, you know, in this meantime, we'll just stock up shit for the revolution.
Yeah. We can buy like guns and stuff, dude.
We can buy guns.
We get to cosplay as Republicans.
We're going to need a lot of
It's
pronouns
so dope.
to do it, but I think we'll be able to get it done.
Have you seen that clip where Donald Trump is at an interview and the woman's like, "Oh, so like, do you have pronouns?" And he's like, "No, I don't have pronouns. I don't use any of them. I don't have pronouns." And
yeah,
then she
that's
goes,
right.
"Oh,
They call me that bitch. Those are my
they
pronouns.
call me Mr. President. That's right."
They
And then the
call
woman's
me
like, "Oh, so you're-"
Hershey because I love chocolate.
And the woman goes, "Oh, so you're fluid." And then the clip just cuts. Like it's like she goes like, "Oh, you're fluid." He goes, "Ah," and then it just stops.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's perfect.
That's
What
fire,
beautiful
man.
editing.
The power of television, man. It's awesome.
I do love living in the modern age.
Yeah.
Sure,
yeah.
having a smartphone addiction kind of sucks, and like sometimes I want to die, but you know, Amazon's gonna make us trains,
I was born at the right time, I think, for
and
sure.
that's exciting. Yeah,
Dude, and you
Although I will say, I think-
know the Amazon train would be fire too.
Oh, it would be so fast,
Dude,
and
like,
so nice. Too.
They would have like Lay's chips on demand. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
there'd
they
be-
wouldn't, because like they're all about efficiency. But we could strip the trains on the inside and then rebuild them to be cool.
Yeah. We would definitely rebuild them.
You know?
We're gonna graffiti dicks all over that shit, man.
Like being on the inside of the bullet train in Japan is better than being on any plane I've ever been in. Whereas I think the Amazon train would have like that new proposed plane economy seating where like they have two people sitting like above each other
Yeah.
like this. Because that's some shit that they would do for efficiency.
They get like mathematicians to figure out like the mathematical maximum amount of people, like the right configuration to put the most amount of people in a 3D space.
Yeah.
There's like algorithms for this shit, man.
And then also the tickets to get on the train are like $50, despite the fact that you have to sit like rotated 90 degrees, you know, next to an old guy who smells like beef.
I was thinking about this the other day. I don't think we're gonna have planes for much longer.
How much longer?
I don't know. I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, like planes are still gonna be a big thing when we die, and they'll probably be a big thing for
yes.
you know, maybe 2 or 3 lifetimes after us as well. But I think like
Okay, so that's like a long time.
but in like, you know, fucking like
In the span of human history, sure. Yes.
rocks have been around for a while. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. So yes, planes will be a blip. Rocks are forever.
on the timeline, I think in a million years, and if we like document all of human history for the entire timeline, planes will not be a significant point on the timeline, I don't think.
No, they'll be like, hey, there was this point in time where people made like trains that were super inefficient and like required a lot of fuel and like cost a lot of money to build. And it needed to refuel all the time.
Well, we
So
needed
we
shit
stopped
to like
using
get over the ocean. I mean, we have boats
Right.
for that, but like, you know.
Yeah, but planes are better than boats because
Planes are
it's
much
a lot
better
more
than
dangerous
boats.
to be on the water than in the air.
Yeah.
Do
But
you think maybe
I was
build,
thinking,
like,
I was like, if we don't have planes to do that, we're gonna need to build some shit across the ocean. It's just
Right,
it has
yeah.
to be done.
that's gonna be tough.
Someone's got to do it. I think
I don't know how the hell we're gonna do that.
a lot.
Of what?
A lot of things. A lot of a
Well,
lot.
Here's proposed solution. So let's say getting
Because we're going to
across-
run out of, like, we don't have a renewable jet fuel
No, we
source. You know, like
We'll run
that,
out.
it quite literally doesn't exist. And I honestly don't think that can be made. Like, I think the battery would be so, even if we like figure out like physics and we make batteries the best they could ever be, I think the batteries will still be like too heavy or too
fly.
or not enough to like get us, you know, what we already do with planes.
Yeah, I think. So are you suggest we just build trains, right? Like that is the ultimate form
I
of
think
transport.
we need to build some shit that goes across the ocean because we can't. The boats are too dangerous, waves and shit.
Well, but why don't we just take like we just go up into like the Arctic Circle? Like if you want to get from the U.S. to Europe across the Atlantic Ocean, we just go through the Arctic Circle.
That's
'Cause I feel
probably
like-
more dangerous than just being on a boat in the first place.
But the only difficulty is that I don't know how you would build a track that spans the entirety of the Atlantic Ocean in a way that it's supported the whole time.
What you
Like
put
there,
stilts? I don't know.
well, I know, but like there are some points where like you just can't fucking put a stilt that far down because it's not going to be structurally sound anyway
Why
since
not?
it's so long.
The Empire State Building is long. Is it
Yeah, but
not?
the Empire State Building can be stacked like I don't even know how many times to get to the deepest point of the ocean, but it's a lot. The ocean's deep, like deep.
But there's like shallow parts of the ocean,
Uh-huh.
so we build in the shallow parts. Surely,
Okay, I get sure. Yeah.
right?
The Milwaukee Deep is the
Or
deep part.
actually, hold on. I have an even better idea.
Okay.
If we build a road that goes around the entire circumference of the Earth, then it doesn't
Mhm.
need to be supported by anything because it goes around the whole Earth.
What are you talking about?
It just floats.
Why would it not? It just floats.
Because it goes, it's like a ring. It's like Saturn's rings, but it's a road that goes around the entire Earth. Like if we put it just like 20 feet above sea level, then there's just a road that goes around the whole thing.
I see what you're saying. I don't think it would work.
Why not?
You would need to have something suspending it in the air at some points.
What do you mean?
So you're saying like, so here's the Earth.
We can
right?
attach ropes
ropes.
to keep it in relative place.
Okay.
So it's held by the ropes and it
So you're
floats
thinking, like,
around because
we
it
have,
goes
like,
around the whole thing.
We have like an anchor system in the water.
The Earth can be the anchor. It'll be roped to the ground.
I thought you said it was like 20 feet above the ground.
Yeah, it floats in the air.
But what's keeping it in the air?
It goes around the whole Earth. It's orbit, gravity shit. Satellites don't come crashing down; they just keep going around the
so
Earth.
you mean it's like up in the atmosphere?
No. It's like accessible via the ground that we live on. But like you like go up. It's like a highway entrance ramp.
Yes.
And so you get onto the sky bridge, which is what we'll call it,
Okay.
and it floats around. You don't need support if it is just in the air.
Yes. No, I understand what you mean. I don't.
How could that not work?
I'm trying to think about it. I don't know. If something was perfectly the circumference of the Earth,
Yeah.
Plus 20 feet, a diameter of 20 feet, then I guess like if gravity was pushing on it at all points equally all the time, like it wouldn't.
It would never fall.
fall. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because the gravity is equal on all points, like you said, which is a thing that I thought about while I was coming up with the idea. Definitely.
So you didn't think about that? How would it float? Things don't just float. That's not.
Because in China, it'll be pulling down towards China, but in the US, it'll be pulling down towards the US, which are on
At the
opposite
exact
sides of the
opposite
globe. So it would cancel out. And it would be that way on every point because it's a perfect.
But you got to think about also we have to clear the land under and above it to be. It would have to be exactly the same distance from the ground around the entire Earth.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Then we'll do that. What do you want? Like,
I don't know. I only took physics once. Okay.
Okay, so maybe it's quicker to do it so it's above all of the natural terrain that it would go through.
What?
Like instead of having to do tunnels and shit like through mountains,
right?
We would put it above all
hypothetically,
that stuff.
We just build it like 5 feet above Mount Everest.
Yeah.
No.
What do you mean no?
Then it's not accessible from the ground.
Well, it'll take a little bit, but then once you get up there,
so we build an elevator that gets you from ground zero to 8,000 feet in the air,
and there's a train up there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, yeah.
You ever see those planets
Saturn
in Mario
Saturn's
Galaxy?
got a ring. Why don't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
There are those planets in Mario Galaxy where they have like sort of a layer above like the inner layer, you know? The inner layer is the Earth, and then we're traveling on the sky highway in the sky.
Okay. Cool.
It's a good idea. And it increases distance, but like again, I'm pretty sure this is the simplest option that we have to replace
There's
planes.
nothing easier that we could do.
You haven't brought anything up so far, so as far as I'm concerned.
You're right. You're right. I haven't.
What else could there be?
We just built a train on the ground.
But you said that we couldn't support a bridge that goes across the ocean.
It doesn't have to go over. It can't go over the ocean. It won't. We won't be able to do that for a while. If ever. I don't know physically what would need to occur for that to happen. But we could just have like segmented bridges like over the Arctic Circle.
Nah, it's dangerous, dude. There's polar bears and stuff.
What about like satellites? No, it's not going to be high up enough to.
No, it's not even remotely close. No,
not even remotely close. Okay, sorry.
Satellites are miles off of the Earth, man.
Mount Everest is also miles off of the Earth.
It's like 5 miles, but like satellites are like some shit like that. I don't know. I actually don't even think it's that tall, that ass. I think I was overestimating the height of Mount Everest. I think it's probably like 3.1 miles.
Damn it. It's 5.5, which is still like close. That's way less than I thought.
Okay, now look up low orbit satellites. How many miles?
It's like they're like hundreds.
I don't think it's hundreds, but because there are points in time where like, why are you laughing?
It's 1,200 miles. It's not even close.
I don't know how scale works, I guess.
Well, what about, okay, fine. What about high orbit?
Those are so much farther.
22,000 miles.
Yeah.
All right, so fine, whatever.
Like the out there satellites are like 1/10 of the distance to the moon or whatever.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Okay, wait. So why don't we have our train stop like at the moon too?
Okay, so this
maybe
is where the moon moves though. So the track would also have to move with the moon.
It's fine.
I don't think that's fine.
We just sync up the ring to be like exactly in the orbit of the moon, and then the train track from the Earth to the moon can kind of serve as like a structural pillar even. And then, like, the ring will spin along with the moon.
Right. I just don't see...
and that would keep it from crashing to the ground on the Earth. I don't
see, like, a need for that. Right. I don't see why we would need to go to the...
Also, it's just unfair, because, like, Katy Perry's been to space and I haven't, and I'd like to go. So, that's what the train needs to do.
I would just... I feel like it would be annoying... imagine if you were like in Brazil and you were trying to get somewhere else on the track. Would you have to go up to the moon and then...
No. The moon is like a bonus stop.
It's not a bonus stop because it comprises 99.9% of the track that would be built.
Yeah.
It's the main project if we're building a train to the moon.
No. So we start with the circumference of the Earth, obviously. And then you have to have 2 tracks for sure, because you can't just have one track going around the whole. We got to have another track traveling in the opposite direction. That would just be way more efficient. And then we have a third track. That's the ring, but then at some point it just goes whoop,
and it goes up to the moon.
In the sky. Yeah, duh.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me like this is the stupidest idea we've ever had?
Don't rockets need you need a lot of power to get out of the atmosphere. So this train would have to be crazy.
I mean, to be fair, to get around the Earth in any sort of timely fashion at all anyway, the train needs to be pretty crazy.
Well, we don't need the train to get there super fast. We just need it to get there eventually.
No, I feel like it would deter people from traveling if it's too slow.
But most of this is going to be for like packages and shit anyway, right?
Bullet train speed. Really?
You don't need to go to Japan if you can ship all of Japan's things to your house.
Right. Okay, so the bullet train goes 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's not that fast, all things considered.
Yeah, I thought, no offense, but like bullets are faster than that. I thought it was fast.
I don't think bullets are faster than that.
Fine. Bullet speed.
I am so ready to be incredibly wrong in this moment.
2,000 miles an hour. Woo!
I genuinely, if I had a real guess, I would not have guessed that high. That's actually kind of crazy.
That is pretty crazy. That's
Dude,
quick.
You know, guns don't use electricity. They just are able to do that with like levers and stuff.
Force.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to put batteries in a gun. Man. The Energizer Bunny does not.
You just ignite gunpowder and it fucking distributes a bunch of force onto the bullet and it goes. Boom.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's kind of like magic.
Kind of, yeah. Like you put like a powder in a cauldron, and
it's kind of like that.
Up.
No,
yeah, for sure. All right, what have we learned today? I think we learned. This might be the episode that we've learned the most.
We did learn a lot today. We learned that I haven't shared a fish fact yet.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hit your fish fact real quick.
Okay, I got you. Let's see.
I didn't even think about that. That's escaped my mind.
You can't forget, man.
I want to apologize to all the people who are going to be mad at me about this.
Okay. There's a fish called the elephant nose fish, which has a brain to body ratio that is larger than human beings, and it uses its face to think. It navigates like dark rivers in Africa using an electric field that it generates. Because it has electron receptors in its like snout, which is why it's called an elephant nose fish.
Whoa.
And its super powered giant brain processes like the distance of all the electricity signals sent out. So it can essentially just like map out its surroundings in 3D in its brain.
It's like echolocation, like a bat.
It's like echolocation, but instead of making noise, it just sends out electrical signals and then they come back to the brain.
It's like LiDAR on a Waymo car.
It is exactly like that, actually. Yes.
That's pretty damn cool, man.
There you go. I was trying to come up with a pride-related fish fact because it's Pride Month, but I already shared the clownfish one, and there aren't a lot of other gender fluidity-related fish facts.
Okay, well, maybe next week we'll have a gay fish fact.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find something. I say we like I'm doing work for this.
You do a lot of work for the podcast. You do
Not
most
for
of
the fish fact.
I just do the fish fact.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
All right, well, what did we learn today?
We learned that the Jonas Brothers aren't shit.
True. Facts.
We learned...
Shit, I dropped my phone. We learned...
that gambling is fucking awesome.
Gambling is awesome. Taylor Swift is still on top.
She's back, baby.
We learned how to make big eggs, which we're gonna do.
Well, we haven't figured it out yet. We just have some theories as to how it might work.
Well, I have some theories that will work for sure.
For sure.
I think the baseball bat is instrumental in that plan.
I think the nails are going to do crazy work.
To
That's for sure.
instill the fear. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, love you. Bye.